Hello, my story cookies. This is Scribble Muffins, but you could just call me Kai. Welcome to or back to my channel. I like to draw, create stories, and I ramble a lot here. If any of that interests you, feel free to subscribe. Now let's dive into the video. You might be confused when I mention Lucy's story. What even is Lucy's story? Well, unfortunately, it's a story I've been making since the 3rd grade. I'm a junior now. I'm almost a freaking adult, and I made this in 3rd grade. But to keep it simple, Lucy's story was just a ripoff of a very popular horror game franchise, Five Nights at Freddy's, and I deeply regret all the weird lore I created. I don't know if I'm going to go into that or not, but like, I always thought over the years that I was improving, but me in 2024, I started to realize that like, I'm not really going anywhere. Like, yes, I am improving on my story and making it more original, but like, it was never original to begin with. And I'm not saying that your story has to be original to be good, or your story has to be original, like completely based off of no inspirations, because like, even the new story that I have right now is not necessarily original, nor is it like, like the most originalest thing ever, because I have a lot of inspirations for what I'm going to be talking about today, but I felt like it was just a stolen concept. Like, I mean, everything, characters, story, plots, was all stolen from Five Nights at Freddy's. And I felt like I was never going to improve unless I actually started to work on trying to make something more, like, actually original. So, if I wanted to meet my true potential, I needed to start from scratch. A hard decision I had to make was restarting and all that stuff, but also another thing was whether I wanted to make a horror story or if I wanted to make a story full of adventures, like those, let's use an example, Ninjago. I love Ninjago, because Ninjago is basically an adventure story. Of course, my story isn't like near anything towards Ninjago, but the thing is with Ninjago, there's a bunch of fantasy stuff and a bunch of adventures that the main characters go on, and that's the kind of thing that I want. Like, and I feel like if I went back to horror, I would just be using the same recycled stuff over again. So I decided to use adventure to hopefully make things way more original and help me work on my world building. Another thing I want to clear up, as I want to explain why I haven't been posting much rewrites or redesigns stuff lately, or even really me rambling stuff. It's mostly because like a lot of my other times when I had to explain this, I've never really had time, and it was hard to actually get motivated into something because I had so many ideas. There was, let's think, I had, of course, ideas for this video. I also had ideas for, the astrology journey. I wanted to talk about them, but, like, I got carried away. And then there was, Fears of Deception. By the way, if you don't know what that is, there's, a story in my community post where, I guess I attempt to make my own little spooky story. I don't know if I consider it spooky, at least not yet. But yeah, I just got so carried away, like, with trying to make stuff, like, it just sort of, I just never was able to pinpoint what exactly I wanted to do. So things just got a bit messy, I will say. But, I'll say that, I don't know, like, sorry, I keep saying like, I don't know, people don't like it. People don't like it when, people say like all the time. I probably won't stop because I don't know, because, I'm not, like, I can't really control if I say that word. And I'm going unscripted, so, yeah. What was I talking about? I know I was, oh yeah, so how I was able to pop out videos when I was doing, the rewrite and redesigns for the Sun and Moon show, and sometimes even, SML, which was only 2 videos, by the way. But that doesn't matter. It's because I think I had a lot more time to do stuff like that. I had more time to talk. And also, like, most of the time I wasn't even, like, making scripts. I was just sort of going ham. Just like how I'm sort of going ham right now. But I think, the scripts, it helped me a little more, like, without going 10 to 20 minutes, into a ramble session. Oh god, what is this sound? It's a motorcycle, I think. But, let's, continue. Anyways, it's time to talk about my world building of where my story takes place. But before that, I wanted to give a huge disclaimer. Well, I think huge is an overstatement. Either way, that I want to say that things that I claim here could be irrelevant in future videos, if I even make future videos. Such things as, like, the lore, the characters, the names. I don't even have a name for this world or the title yet. So if you guys could give me ideas just by hearing the description, I would be delighted. And also, not everything's going to be official, because if I say everything's official, it's going to be way harder to adjust and change the story. Cause you know, like things, so let's use, I don't know, I think I've used so many examples already. Not so many, oh my gosh, me rambling is terrible, it's bad. But also, like, okay, let's use Miraculous Ladybug as an example. So, it's an official show, you know? So, some things happen. And some things happen in the future, like, they try to change stuff. But since that stuff is already back in the past, like, past stuff from their old episodes, it becomes weirdly inconsistent or irrelevant to the story. Like, it sort of, you see what I mean? It sort of just, like, messes it up a little bit. So not everything is going to be official. And that's why I am, saying that, because like, I love to change stuff. You hear me? My indecisive ass will literally, like, Don't let me get started. Don't make me go on another tangent. I will go on another tangent. When I was starting my original channel, my first channel, I was so indecisive of what my channel name would be. It would change almost every week, and my own sibling was so annoyed with it. they tried to restrict me, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but like, even bro acknowledged how much I was changing it, and sometimes to this day I do like to change up stuff like that. Yeah, so that's why I'm making this disclaimer now. Anyways, let's actually get into the story. Well, not the story. Oh my gosh. When I'm not looking at the script, it's hard. Okay. So, there are two sides to the world. One with human civilization, so basically just like Earth. You know, like there's humans, there's stores, I'll get into the other world anyway. I'll get into that in a little bit, but there's humans and stuff like that. It's just normal life, basically. But there's another side of the world where where it's a more fantasy-like world, where there's anthropomorphic animals and creatures beyond the human's comprehension. And there's their own civilization and stuff like that. There are also cities and stuff too, like stores and stuff like that. But also there's like woods and villages. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing. So there are secret portals to these other worlds, and I don't know how you can find one or not. Like, they're supposed to be hidden, so you can't necessarily just go look for one and just go to the fantasy world. Like, the portals are secret. The portals are secret because they don't necessarily want you to cross over to them. So if someone were to cross over to another world, they will get a new form and identity. And this is an idea that I've been wanting to do that I found super intriguing. So you get your own new form, and you get your very own name. Well, you get a new name, because you can't remember your name, or you can't remember anyone from the other world. And I guess it depends on which world you're in, is what identity you remember or have knowledge of. It's weird. But I guess that's what I have so far. An example of the crossover thing is Samuel. Samuel in the human world is named Samuel, but in the fantasy world his name is Blizzard because he's a creature in a certain realm, in a certain part of the fantasy world. I call it the crystal realm, where it's basically crystals and ice, and so that's where his name come from. That's where his name came from. I don't have anything to say right now. I don't know if I'll talk about the characters in this video or another video talking about this, if I even get to one. I think that's where I'm just gonna end it off, because I'll be honest, I have no more script left, and I still have to work on the designs of the main characters. Anyways, it was nice to get back on here and talk. I'm sorry if I rambled, but I think that's all that's going to be. So I accidentally let my iPad turn off, and that cut off the audio while I'm doing the outro. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was really nice to get back on here and ramble about my little stories and stuff like that. I think if I were to make a part 2 to this, I would talk about the characters when I'm done with the designs and actually have a script for the characters. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, my starry cookies.